Now, do you currently design buildings?
Not currently. Well, after graduation, I worked with a firm in Portland for 3 years, and I was involved with a lot of projects, like not necessarily designing them, but I was, involved in the process of putting presentations together.
That doesn't surprise me. Of course.
So, and some of them I would build physical models, scaled physical models in basswood or museum boards. Those things that I love because I work with my hands, and it just keeps my mind occupied that way, and I enjoy the putting things together.
Okay.
And yeah.
So the whole with the architecture and design and getting into graphic arts, it's all. Do you find that doing the design programs on the computer is more or less satisfying than doing it with your pencil, or is it about the same?
That's interesting because I think this is more satisfying because you're not using a mouse, but I guess a mouse could be.
The mouse becomes your tool.
Yeah, your
right?
tool, right? I think it's got some it's pretty much parallel. I think if you have to compare it side by side, but it just this is just a different. I don't know. You're more in contact with the paper and the pencil this way than this stationary window in front of you, and you just manipulate things with the mouse.
But they both have their use, obviously.
Right.
Now, the work that you've done that's framed at the museum, are your originals for sale, or do you have prints? How do you sell them?
We produce posters and postcards.
Oh, posters and postcards. Okay, and those are available at the museum.
That's correct. Yes.
Okay. Have you done any of the missiles?
It's still a work in progress.
Okay.
There's quite a few I have of the Space Museum artifacts that I'm working on, but none of them are produced yet because they're still in the way of getting completed. So.
Well, yeah, these things take time.
Yeah.
There's a lot to get through.
That's correct.
And the museum is always acquiring more. Is that correct?
That's right.
Okay, so, and you've got, I know that they just, I think, maybe ran through maybe some more of your images, or maybe the same images again so people could see them. You want to just maybe briefly go through? That's the P-38, isn't it?
That's the P-38
Okay.
Lightning by Lockheed.
Okay. I'll keep showing them.
This artwork right here is that was a Black Knights reunion.
Okay.
That was last year. The Wright Flyer.
Okay.
The one that started it all. Interior of the museum, and the smaller drawings on top and the bottom are the ones that I've completed. That's Boeing aircraft. That's B-17.
There's the water park.
The water park.
That's cool. That looks great, actually.
Thank you. That's Corsair right there.
I like the way
This one, the founder of the museum, Mike Smith, the son of Mr. Smith, flew this one.
That was a hard plane to fly, I hear. The Corsair. It was difficult to fly? Somebody said that to me once. I don't know.
Yeah, I have never really seen it fly.
But it's interesting that I like the way some of the you have the plane, and this one is sort of stationary, and then that one's in flight. I like the way that you've got them. Well, because it's hanging.
Yeah, I check. Well, yeah, those two are hanging, and these are just amazing works of art, themselves. Just sitting there or hanging there in the museum. So, and doing the drawings, I just like to honor, the people that designed it and built it, and make it more special that way.
So I guess it's probably going to take you years, do you think, to finish all the aircraft in the museum, in both museums?
Yeah, I originally set my goal to do the whole entire collection in 2 years, but I'm in my 18th month now, and I'm just over halfway through the entire collection, and they're still acquiring new ones. So it's probably going to extend longer than what I thought it's going to take to do, drawing of all of these aircrafts.
Have any other museums approached you about doing anything for them?
No, I haven't been approached by other museums. Although I was approached by one artist that was also thinking of doing the same thing that I've been doing
Really?
for the museum. Yeah, the one in Seattle, the Museum of Flight there. That's the one he was thinking of, starting something like this.
Have you seen his work?
I have not.
Okay.
He was just there one day and started asking questions, and I told him how I got it all started, and never seen him since.
Are you in the museum sort of regularly? Like, do you do signings?
I do.
If people purchase something, you'll sign it?
I'm usually at the museum 2 days a week, Saturday and Sunday. I teach classes there as well, drawing class.
At the museum?
At the museum.
You do?
Yeah.
Okay, talk about that a little bit.
So there are 2 sessions, basically on Saturday and Sunday. It's pretty much the same schedule. There's one in the morning, starts at 11 until noon, and then in the afternoon I do a session from 1 o'clock to 2 o'clock.
So you pretty much work 7 days a week?
I get my days off on the weekend. So sometimes I do put more hours. But
So do you have very many people taking your classes?
I have, since I started, I've had 110 that
Wow.
that I've logged into my attendance
That's
sheet.
great.
So it's that that part of my job is more rewarding than sitting at my table all day and just working away drawing. But it's both have pluses and minuses.
What do you have your students work on? What do you start them out? Start them out on?
Well, I usually start asking questions before they sit down and take a lesson. But I make them work on easier ones if they don't have a lot of experience with drawings. But I show them more of a step-by-step approach to drawing. Something that they could really learn and take with them when they go home. So. Yeah,
So you don't start them off on something complicated like a
No.
helicopter,
No,
because a helicopter is pretty complicated.
yeah, I have a sheet that I've put together. Everything all the information that they need are pretty much on the sheet, and then I just
Just do it like I do it, and you'll be good.
well, I showed them step by step. But I was asked one day if they just what you said now, if they take the class, will they be as good as me? I said, well, you'll have to take the class probably more than once.
400 times, yeah. Well, you know, it's funny when you were saying that you'd taken art classes at Chemeketa. I've probably taken, at one point I took lots of art classes from Chemeketa, and I can't draw at all. I mean, really can't draw. And so I think it's kind of funny when you say, oh yes, you can be taught to do this, because I guess maybe I'm not convinced that that's true. I think some people just have it, you can see it. I mean, and we can all look at the P38 and we can all see it there.
Right.
But there's something about, you know, the way you see it and the way I see it that's different, because I can't translate that to a page. You know, you can start out and say, okay, well, you can do this and this, you know, but it's like all these little shadings and all these little perfect things. I think that you're just amazingly talented.
Thank you.
Yeah, and I know that you've got at this gift store at the museum, you've also got some cards. So if people don't have maybe room for big posters, they can do little cards. But that's a great way, you know, for visitors too, to take home something from their visit. I think that's nice. Yeah.
That's basically the idea. It's a small card. It's not, you know, that expensive to purchase. But yeah, it's a.
Well, now have you done the Easter Bunny arriving by helicopter?
No, I have not.
I
I'm
think
sorry to
that
say
that would be a bestseller. I'm here to tell you. Don't you think so? It would be fabulous.
I guess we'll have to try it to see it happen.
I mean, you know, how many museums have an Easter Bunny arrive by helicopter? Probably not that many. It's unique.
Yeah,
Just
you're
like
right.
the spruce
You're right.
goose is unique,
Right.
and the Easter Bunny arriving by helicopter is unique. And I think you could be just the man to carry that off.
Well, that would be a cool idea. I'd love to try it since
Yeah.
you suggested.
Yeah. So was it last Christmas that they did the Rudolph nose on the plane?
That's correct.
Yeah, that was fun. That was something different.
It's, you know, Evergreen. I think they like to try new things sometimes.
So overall, it's been probably sort of an interesting experience being able to do all this. Is this something that you thought you'd do?
You know, it's a really rare opportunity that I thought that, you know, I couldn't pass. And plus, I've just been keeping my skill always right here in my back pocket. And now that, you know, it presented to me, I just thought, you know, I'd take advantage of it.
Sure.
So.
Well, I think it's really incredible. Now, have you done other portraits of the flying boat?
I've done another one, but I didn't like that one, so I put that one away.
It's kind of a big, I mean, it's big. It's hard to get even with a photograph, it's hard to wrap your...
Yeah. Well, actually...
Is there one?
Yeah, I had one in the...
Okay,
in the
maybe
set of
I must have just missed it.
pictures,
Okay. So people
it's
probably
in the
saw it and I
interior.
didn't. Okay. Good.
You're right. It's it's just a humongous, you know, plane, and yeah, it's really hard to get the right angle, especially, you know, when you're trying to photograph it inside the museum.
Exactly.
So.
Well, thank you very much for being here today. We really appreciate having you and being able to see all your work. And now we know where to find you, obviously. And best wishes. Good luck.
Thanks for having me.